Well, it's a snowy day here in Fairfax County, Virginia. We've had about 2 feet of snow here already, and we're going to get almost another foot today. I probably won't be more than 50 yards from the house all weekend, so it seems like a good time to make a video. I could actually interpret this event to mean that perhaps God didn't want me to go to the Super Bowl party at our friend's house tomorrow. That's a pity, because I was looking forward to it. Maybe God is angry at me for making videos talking about how irrational belief in Him is. On the other hand, there are surely some Christian children in this area that love to play in the snow, that are right now thinking how nice it is that God blessed them with this bounty of endless entertainment for the weekend. I heard that a man was hit by a car and killed yesterday after stopping to help a stranded motorist on the side of the road in the snow. Without the snow, he would still be alive. On the other hand, the lives of a few other people were saved when the accidents that they would have had were prevented because they didn't leave the house due to that same snow. They'll never know this, of course, and so will have no way to thank God for this good deed or simply chalk it up to good fortune. I find it fascinating how people will attribute various events like this to whatever they feel like attributing them to. In most modern, predominantly Christian cultures, the personal proofs for God that I have heard are interestingly devoid of anything that would require a supernatural influence, even if their stories were completely true. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about the I see Jesus in a grilled cheese sandwich types. My guess is there's something a little more serious going on in their brains. I'm just talking about your average Christian that you and I know dozens of. I've asked a few of my friends what their personal evidence is for God. I've gotten a few different answers. One was that his wife had children despite having a condition that makes bearing children difficult, but not impossible, especially with all the modern medical practices that were brought to bear in their situation. One told me that he could not have beaten his alcoholism without God. A third friend told me that, get this, she prayed for the pain of passing kidney stones to go away, and it did. Yeah, I wish I was kidding about that one, but sadly I'm not. The point is, believers make constant claims of clearly non-supernatural phenomena as evidence for the supernatural, yet somehow they see no logical problem with this. Coincidence and the desire by the human brain to find patterns and causation can lead to some conclusions that are sheer delusion by any strictly logical test, but it's difficult to get a true believer to see it. I'll give you an example of something that happened in my life that was very coincidental, and how I saw it as an atheist. On September 26th of the year 2000, I was on the Big Island of Hawaii. My wife and I just had a wonderful wedding ceremony on the beach that I will never forget. We had a destination wedding by ourselves to be followed by a reception for friends and family when we returned home from the trip. What I didn't know until a few days later was that the day before my wedding, my grandma had a heart attack and was taken to the hospital. The next day, just hours before the ceremony on the day of my wedding, my grandmother died. It wasn't a complete surprise. She was in her 80s and her health had been in serious decline for a couple years. While it was on a day that was coincidental for me, and my other relatives, if it weren't for her passing, it would have been just another day. It would be wonderful if somehow her spirit floated through the ether to watch one of her 10 grandchildren get married, but there's no evidence of that. You know what, though? I'm completely fine with the truth, and that is that my grandmother loved me and knew that I was getting married. There's no need to construct a fantasy around it, and it would be nice if the pressure could be removed from believers to create such pleasant fictions for themselves. The reality of unconditional love from a grandparent is beautiful enough, isn't it?